Hello, and welcome to Geeks Assembled. And today we are talking about a superhero movie, a modern superhero movie. In fact, so modern, it's just come out this year. It's Wonder Woman, starring the wonderful and beautiful Gal Gadot. So, without anything to do, we will go around the cast members and see their opening thoughts about this movie. Um, let's go to our very own Wonder Woman, Susan.
Why, thank you. Shazam. No, that's a different superhero. No, I was really excited about this. So excited that I did a trailer review for Geeks Assembled a few months back. Was excited and I mean, Wonder Woman is amazing, and this movie was really something cool. Like, it had some kids in tears because of like the speeches and because of like the empowerment of it. It's really terrific. And Gal Gadot rocked it. And yeah, Chris Pine did okay. And yeah, the actresses that played her mother and her trainer, they did, and the general, I mean, they did okay. So yeah, good movie.
Let's go over to Alex and let's see if he can do his opening thoughts without mentioning Linda Carter.
Well, I mean, she was the first one I saw. Yeah, I had to see this twice. I'm a little softer on it the second time. The second one I saw was a better version of it. I'm not too fond of her accent, Gal Gadot's accent. I don't know exactly why she has that. I understand it's the World War I era. I'm not sure I'm still a fan of Chris Pine, even though I know he's been in a lot of stuff. I just like the TV version too much, I think. But the movie version is good. The special effects were better. Perhaps they were maybe trying to follow the same vein as the 1978 Superman. I just get that feeling. I do like the message that she did care about him. Steve Trevor, hopefully he comes back. He did come back in the TV show and in the comics, or his relatives did. So yeah, it wasn't a bad start. I did enjoy Gal Gadot's version of Wonder Woman in the Batman versus Superman. I think she was given 17 minutes, I think, overall. So if they can build on from that, I don't know if they'll do World War II. I don't know if they'll do both, but I know that she's in the Justice League of America. So yeah, I mean, it could have been a lot worse, and it was a nice movie, but yeah, I prefer the TV version.
They say, I knew he'd mention the TV version. He just can't help himself. Let's move on to Beef Dad. Let's see what he has to say about Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I thought it was a little bit slow to get going. But yeah, it was good spending a little bit of time on the Amazon aisle. I particularly enjoyed Robin Wright playing Antiope, the general, who is also her aunt, and also in the last episode I saw she was running for Vice President of the United States in House of Cards. She's just a superb actress. I love watching. I could watch her for hours. Her mother was good. She really got the Queen of the Amazon bit down perfectly. Gal Gadot's Diana she was great. The kids that played her were great too. That's what I liked. You saw her growing up. And the kids were really good. Lucy Davis, who played Etta, Steve's secretary in England. She's just great. She's just so much fun in everything she does. She is probably one of the best comedy actresses we've got in England at the moment, because an awful lot of them have died recently, and it's left us with a bit of a hardcore of comedy actresses, and she is just so good. What I didn't expect, I must confess, I did think all the way through that General Ludendorff was Ares, the god of war. I did not expect him to be David Thewlis, the Englishman. The last thing I expected. I mean, I know Englishmen end up playing villains in an awful lot of American films, and you end up with the Englishman is the villain. But I thought to myself, well, for God's sake, who better to play him than Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher from Hogwarts? But you also had some lovely little cameos, like James Cosmo playing Field Marshal Douglas. Oh, brilliant, absolutely brilliant, superb part. Rainer Bock playing von Hindenburg. He was also superb. But I did like Eugene Brave Rock playing the Indian chief. The last thing I expected was to see an Indian chief wandering around in World War One. It was just brilliant, and it worked so well. Yeah. So, and as Alex said, the special effects are just brilliant. When they really go for them, they are absolutely superb. And in spite of what you say, Alex, I thought Chris Pine was super. I thought Chris Pine was really, really super in this. And that's it for me for the time being.
Thanks for that, Beef Dad. Yeah, Chris Pine, yeah, he's good in this. It's just that we've got to know him as the rebooted Captain Kirk, which not a lot of people are keen on, shall we say. But we'll skip over that for now. We may discuss a Star Trek movie in the future at some point. Kevin, what's your take on this new version of Wonder Woman?
Well, I saw Man of Steel, then I saw Batman v Superman, and then Batman v Superman, she appeared at the end of the movie with the whole Doomsday fight, and Superman dies. Spoilers. And yeah, this in the beginning you see that it takes right after Batman v Superman, and where Bruce Wayne is typing the email to Wonder Woman, so tell your story, and then we go in her story of this movie. Yeah, I really liked it. From the beginning till the end, it was very exciting. It was the first Wonder Woman thing I ever saw in a movie, except then from the animation because of Flashpoint Paradox of Justice League. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. Chris Pine as Steve Trevor, yeah, just absolutely superb. Gal Gadot, yeah, if you could say it like that. She's wonderful as Wonder Woman, very beautiful indeed. And Ares, Mr. Hogwarts, Harry Potter. Well, they were trying to put it all on the German guy. And yeah, of course, I saw a spoiler on the Instagram, and I saw that much there, so I was already like, oh, all right. And then my brother was like, when he was disappearing at the building, and then standing next to the building when he didn't walk either. It was just superb. And my brother was like, oh my god. Yeah, the end battle was full CGI, but I loved it. Of course, the ending scene, it's very cool that they take a moment before Steve Trevor blows up in that train. You can't hear the words at first, but then when Wonder Woman hands that tank in her hand to maybe destroy Dr. Poison, she doesn't do it because she goes back to that few seconds early in the movie about Chris Pine saying that I have to go, but I love you. And so yeah, and Ares got his ass kicked. So yeah, I really love this movie, and they said that Steve Trevor maybe returns, but I don't know how. But hey, it's a comic world, so anything can happen.
Well, Kevin, going back to the well-loved TV series, Steve Trevor does return, but it's his son, and he looks exactly like him. So if they're gonna go modern with the next Wonder Woman movie, they might bring his son.
Yeah, probably.
You don't know. Brian, Earth calling Brian. Are you with us?
Yeah.
Yes, you mute. Yes, okay. And what's your thoughts on your opening thoughts on Wonder Woman?
Oh, you don't want my full statement?
Well, just give us your opening thoughts for now, and then we'll get to your dislikes and likes later on.
Yeah, so I'll give my opening thoughts. Let's see, my opening thoughts for Wonder Woman, since I saw this just a couple days ago. Absolutely a wonderful movie. I absolutely enjoyed every minute of it. I thought it was a bit slow, like with the whole Diana Prince going and transforming into Wonder Woman, because she doesn't become Wonder Woman until like maybe halfway towards the film. But yeah, but other than that little minor detail, I did enjoy the film. I think it's probably one of the best DC movies that they've been coming out with. Other from Man of Steel, because I didn't really like that. But in any case, but yeah, the movie was great. The story was absolutely fantastic. Gal Gadot, or Gadot, or whatever her name is, I think it's Gadot, because she's whenever she's on interviews, she's like, people been mispronouncing her name, but I think it's Gadot. She's absolutely superb as Wonder Woman. I absolutely love her as Wonder Woman. I haven't seen Linda Carter mostly as Wonder Woman, not just yet, but I will. Yeah, she's absolutely great as Wonder Woman. Yeah, I just loved the movie. It was great.
Brilliant. I agree with most of what you say there, Brian. That makes a change, doesn't it? I didn't like Man of Steel either, really. For me, this movie works so well on so many different levels. It's made for the fans of the comics. It's made for the fans of the movies. And it's just wonderful that they did go back to the origin of Wonder Woman, on the Amazons, and also the First World War origins, which I just loved, because they could have just gone to the modern day version of Wonder Woman, which for me, you need a background story, and this was the background story. People have said it took a while, but for me, it didn't, because it was telling us the story of her growing up, being an Amazon princess. There was a secret with her, and nobody knew apart from her mother. I just loved this. There was some wonderful bits in it, and the action scenes were just marvelous on the beach where the Amazons were fighting the Germans as they were coming on the beach. That was done so wonderfully well. Arrows against bullets. Wow, that scene was just wonderful. I've got to say, I've got to agree with what Brian said. It's one of the best DC movies what they have released, because some of them have been pretty, give or take, a bit. Yeah. So, on that note, I will ask everybody here if they have got their favourite moments, their least favourite moments, or anything else they want, or any tidbits. So, let's go to Beef Dad first. Let's see if he's got any dislikes or likes.
Yeah, there was a couple of scenes that I really, really enjoyed. I mean, the battle scene, obviously, with David Hewlett was brilliant. especially just before she killed him off and said, "Goodbye, brother," which was quite magic. But then there was that conversation she had with Chris Pine about men and women, and men are good for procreating but useless for anything, but not much good for anything else. I was going to ask Susan's opinion on that. Yeah, Samir was sort of greatly underused, but when he was on screen, he really really held the screen for everybody, which was really good. Yeah, you mustn't forget Emily Carey as the young Wonder Woman, the one that is actually shown the sword that is supposedly the weapon to kill Ares. And it isn't until she has grown up, she becomes Wonder Woman, she tries to use the sword on Ares, and he just melts it away. And the sword is not the weapon that Zeus gave to the Amazons to destroy Ares. Wonder Woman herself, Diana herself, is the weapon, and that was really clever. It was very, very, very well done. I love the emotion in the girl. She is so good. She's a good actress, and the emotion she showed at points, especially the point where the plane blew up and she knew that Steve Trevor was on it. And that for me was also a very magical moment where Steve Trevor is flying the plane and he's looking behind him. He opens the door, sees all the gas bottles, and because it's a helium gas, it's inflammable, which was his whole idea. And then the next thing you see is the plane blowing up, and she just screams out. And that is a moment in that film that will stay with me as a really, really solid memory. So that's it.
Thanks for that, Beef Dad. Let's go to Susan and Alex.
Okay, well, my favorite, in answer to Beef Dad's question, that wasn't the conversation that I thought you were referring to, but yeah, that was kind of cute. That was the Amazon thinking, and I love how they brought in all the Greek gods, and not the Roman gods, but that she had a Roman name. I mean, Athena, Aphrodite, and Athena were related in Greek mythology, but in Roman mythology, Diana was like the queen. Diana was Athena. In Ephesus, she was worshipped there as the chief lady there, and so all the temples were built to her. Anyway, so that was cool, and I liked the World War One stuff. I liked the Dusseldorf was snorting crystals that made him glow white and sparkly. He was snorting vampire skin or something like that. It was fun. Anyway, he was great, and there was and the conversation that I went back for was the conversation that she was having with Steve Trevor about dancing and romance. And I just thought that was so pretty and so wonderful. And Chris Pine had done really well as the romantic figure, and Princess Diaries, and so I mean here he is doing it again. He does it pretty good. I mean he's a pretty cavalier Kirk, but he's a great romantic lead sort of guy in places, and I'm glad they utilized him like that, and I'm really glad that they had the bracelets, and like that was really cool how they you know even adopted power so that any lightning or any of the natural power that Ares was throwing at her, she was able to utilize herself to fight back, and that was really cool in the lasso. And so, Alex, what you knew something about the lasso or whatever?
Yeah. Well, like I said, the favorite moments. I mean, like I said, I'm not a fan of Chris Pine, so that's not going to matter to me. Like I said, I know Gal Gadot was in also the Fast and Furious movies, even though I think she got killed off in number 6 or number 7. Yeah, basically, I know that they didn't have a lot of time, and this isn't the TV version, so they're not going to explain everything and how she has been created or blessed by the gods and uses the tiara and the bracelets and the lasso of truth and all that.
Yeah.
But maybe they'll explain that more in other versions or other sequels. But it was still well done. Like I said, when I saw a better version of it that I could actually see the landscape and all that. The fight scenes were good. I mean, obviously, I did enjoy the fact that she did not enjoy the strategies and the planning. Steve Trevor's character, I know, is supposed to be somewhat opposite to Diana, even though they do work well together in any version. And he did not have a lot of time, and they probably didn't want to give him a lot of time. But I also know it was amusing how they sort of, addressed very quickly the gender version and the gender differences and the gender version and the, romance versus fighting and all that stuff. Not that I agreed with it, but I agree that they kept it short.
I think Susan is a fan of Chris Pine. Yes, it's the way she was looking when she mentioned Chris Pine's name. Let's go to Brian. Let's see what he's got any likes or dislikes to the movie. Yes, you, Brian.
Me again?
Yes, you.
All right.
It's only one Brian.
I like to mix it up, Brian, and take you by surprise.
Okay. Well, let's see. Most best likings of the film, I would probably have to say the first time she's introduced as Wonder Woman within the film, and she goes up within that building or tower, whatever, to fight all the soldiers within it, and then play like the Wonder Woman theme and everything. The current Wonder Woman theme, that is, not the one from the TV series. And I thought that was like a pretty awesome and cool shot and scene and everything. I think it's pretty much my favorite within the film. My second probably favorite is when the fight between the soldiers and the Amazons on the island with the bow and arrows and everything. I thought that was pretty cool. My dislikings, let's see. I have none. I enjoyed the film that much, and I don't really.
That is a surprise, Brian. You don't have any dislikes.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, I have one thing I didn't really get, and why they did this certain thing within the film. I mean, I don't know if it. I don't know if it may be true, like within the Wonder Woman thing or whatever. But when I saw the film, and you get to find out that Ares is like not who you thought he was within the film. It sounded to me like when he was explaining like his origin and everything, like they, it sounded to me like they're saying like he's the god of truth instead of the god of war.
He said that he was speaking the truth to when she was he was speaking the truth to her.
Oh, okay, because I thought he said he was the god of truth. I was going to be like,
no, he's the god of war, but he was speaking the truth to her because he didn't have to lie.
He
All
did
he had
say
to
he
do
was the god of truth, but he was just saying that in the like as a generality of his, and not as a specific, not mythism.
Oh, okay. Because I thought,
he didn't have to make the war. All he had to do was whisper into people's ears for them to create the war.
Okay.
So
yeah, because I was gonna say like, what, they changed his origin story? He's not the god of war anymore. But
you don't have to come out all fighting to create war.
Yeah.
But I mean, the way that he was doing that, though, it kind of reminded me of a little bit of Loki from Thor, from the Thor films, because he's the god of mischief, and Loki's the god of mischief in like the Thor mythology or whatever, and also in the films. So
but that's Marvel.
I know that's Marvel, Susan, but that kind of but that's what it kind of reminded me of from
do you know what? I think DC and Marvel sort of borrowed ideas or pinched ideas from each other back in the day.
That's what kind of reminded me of what Ares was doing and everything. So.
Oh well. Okay, we'll move to. I nearly said Brian again, but no, Brian, you've had your go. Move away. Kevin.
Unless you want me to speak more.
No, that's enough. Yeah. Got that one quick, didn't we?
Well, I love Lisa Wilson's moment in the film, and Susan's moment, and Brian's moment, and Leaflet's moment. They were all awesome. No, just joking. I love the scene when Ares. Shut up. When Ares was, of course, put in the metal on Wonder Woman, and Wonder Woman saw Steve Trevor's plane blew up, and then she screamed so hard that she unleashes her full power and then kills every German. I was like, holy cow. And and the scene with that she sees a baby for the first time in the human world, and Steve says, "Oh, well, they're not made of clay." Yeah, that was just funny. And I love the moment when Steve Trevor was in that pool, and then Wonder Woman asked a bunch of questions, and then he's like, "Well, it's above average."
All men had a little bit on, I think.
Yeah. And and the Dr. Poison part and the German guy part from Wolverine, X-Men of Origins of Wolverine, General Stryker. That's where I know him from. I was like, oh, this is going to be great. And it was very good. He took some gas, and then he got all big and strong, and well, he eventually got beaten by Wonder Woman. And the scene when Wonder Woman at the very end is jumping off that Paris building and then jumping into the sky. She probably can fly, right?
No, she can't fly. That's why she has the invisible jet for.
Oh yeah, she has an invisible jet in the TV series. but we won't go into that at the moment.
And in the comic book.
Oh yeah, in the comic books, yeah. But, is any more?
I think in the movie he just has like enhanced abilities, like strength, speed, and everything.
Oh yeah. So they might build on that in the sequels. Is that it for now, then, Kevin?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let me have my say. I love the humour in this. There is quite a bit of humour in this, as Kevin mentioned, the pool scene with Chris Pine in the pool, the above average thing, but also when he gets up and she says, "What's that?" out of the pool, and he looks down and he thinks she's talking about something else, but no, it says watch at the side of the pool. She's asking what's that is. It's just the glances and it's just funny, and when she goes shopping for clothes with Lucy Davis, how can you fight in these? And she's kicking her legs, ripping the skirts. I don't know. I mean, was that a lot of padding for the actress Lucy Davis who played the secretary? Was she padded up for that role? Because she looks like she's put a lot of weight on. I mean, I always remember her playing the character in The Office.
She just was shot down and sort of made to look shorter and squatter. So yeah.
Yeah, because I always remember as a slim woman in The Office.
Because Etta, what's Etta's last name? Etta Candy. Yeah. She was always shown as chunky and stuff in the comic books.
Yeah, so they may have padded her out then. They may have put padding on the costume and stuff, but yeah, and it's just wonderful that you get two Wonder Woman villains in this movie, Ares and Dr. Poison. They're two of my favourite Wonder Woman villains. But I have no dislikes. I'm like Brad. I have no dislikes in this movie. I enjoyed it from beginning to end. Okay, it was 2 hours and 20 minutes, but it flew by for me, to be honest. I mean, that's a long film, but it flew by. So I loved it. I've got no complaints with this movie. Right choice for Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot. She played it brilliantly. I've got nothing against her accent. She's an Amazon. I suppose they have accents. So, yeah, wonderfully played. Danny Houston as the general. He's made a living out of playing Nazis and bad guys. He's just wonderful in what he does. I can't say anything bad about this movie. So if anybody's got any tidbits, if they've got any more tidbits or not, we'll round it off with the scores and final thoughts. Any tidbits?
Just to square things up a bit on the mythology side. Diana is actually a Roman goddess. She was the Roman goddess version of what's her name? Artemis. Artemis was the Greek, and they were the goddesses of the hunt. The goddess of wisdom in Greek was Athena, and in Roman it was Minerva, which is why you've got Minerva Gonagle in Harry Potter. And the queen of the gods in the Greek gods was Hera. And the temple you're thinking about, the one on the coastline, is actually the temple of Artemis.
Don't you just love having Beef Dad on these casts? He's just full of it. Information I'm on about.
Well, how about the fact that the guy who created Wonder Woman in the 40s also invented the quote-unquote lie detector as well? Just kind of an interesting... weird fact, that even though that's another thing too, that people don't realize that just because they may become synonymous or they may become a stereotype of something doesn't necessarily mean that the writer is the exact same as the creation, of course. So a man thought of the idea for Wonder Woman based on mythology and all that, and he also invented the lie detector, but just like other things from other decades, just because it seems to be based on, soul culture or whatever. It actually was written by, a different person. It's just that they adopted that style, just like the same thing in the comics. Depending on what decade you're in, she either is considered old fashioned now. I know I read in the 70s, where 1970s, that they really didn't do too much tribute to the TV show. Now they've brought it back, and in the comics, she's actually paired up with Batman, the Adam West version, and the Bionic Woman from the 70s as well. So, well, that's the actress. So, again, depending on, like, I remember reading a story where Wonder Woman lost the bracelets on her wrists and went insane. So, depending on what era, what decade you read the, comics in, of course, they change it, and the TV version changed it somewhat, and the movie version changed it somewhat.
Oh, well, where was the fin with Wonder Woman was also the part when Chris Pine got the lasso of truth on around him, and he couldn't tell, that he's a spy, and he say, "I'm a spy." I was like, oh, that was just funny. You're muted, Lee.
I says apparently it burns the truth out of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but all in all, a good movie. So if there's no more tidbits, we'll round this cast off with final saying scores. So, seeing as Kevin's on the mic, what's the score for the movie?
Well, compared to all the DCU movies to now, Wonder Woman gets for me a 10 out of 10.
Thank you, Kevin. Brian and his dog. One man and his dog. What's your score for the movie?
Well, let's see. I would probably have to give this film maybe 10 lassos.
10 lassos. Thanking you, Brian. Beef Dad.
What?
Sorry, I know we're keeping you up, and it's time for your Ovaltine. But what's the score for the movie, Beef Dad?
Oh, it's a superb piece of cinema. It's wonderful. It's enjoyable from beginning to end. I love the bit where they use the side of a armored vehicle for her to jump off of, so that she can get the sniper in the church tower.
Yeah. Brilliant piece of that.
The top of the church tower off completely. Yeah, at moments like that just made it just brilliant for me. So it's a 10.
Thank you, Beef Dad. Let's see where this is going then, shall we? That's 3 10s. Over to the dynamic duo of Alex and Wonder Woman, Susan.
Yeah, the writing is pretty good considering how they could have done it, so I give that a 9. As far as the acting, and I just didn't like the accent that Gal Gadot used in the movie. So I'd have to probably give it. I'd probably have to give it a 9. As I said, I liked her actually better in Batman versus Superman. If she wasn't in that movie, I would have tried to turn the movie off. So I have to give her some credit. Hopefully, much like a lot of other actors, you sort of have to grow into a role. So hopefully, the sequels and the Justice League version, they'll round out her character a little more. They'll give her more to say and do, and hopefully have it varied. But like I said, I still like the original TV version that didn't even have Linda Carter. It's Kathy Lee Crosby. And I still like the TV version, even though season 3 was extremely campy.
He just will not let it lie about the TV version.
Well, yeah, I'll have to give this a 9.5 out of 10 or 10 out of 10, depending on the day. It varies back and forth. It's really. I was so excited for this movie, and it didn't disappoint me. The first time I saw it, I was like, saw a terrible copy off of a pirate thing, and I was bad news. And this time I saw it much cleaner, much better. It was delightful. Look forward to Justice League because of it. So yeah, today I'll give it a 10. The other day I might have given it less, but anyway, that's where it lies.
Oh, brilliant. Yes, we don't really recommend these bad streaming sites. Always go to the cinema to watch movies, kiddies. Because, you're putting money back into the movie companies. For me, I'll agree. This movie did not disappoint. It lived up to expectations, and it went above expectations for me. So for that, it's a 10. I just loved it. And I'm surprised at that because Wonder Woman's not one of my favourite superhero comic book heroes. So I was blown away with this story and the movie. So thanks for you guys for joining this superhero cast. Susan there with a cosplay.
May I add something? Just one more thing, Lee.
Go on then. I'm timing you.
Okay. I just forgot to say within my thing before. This is not the same Diana Prince that you see within Batman vs Superman, because since it's an origin story, it's a much more young.
Yeah, this is a prequel to the Batman v Superman movie.
Yeah, and she's very naive and
naive, younger.
Yeah.
And in the Batman v Superman, she lost
But I think it's quite obvious this happens before Batman v Superman because she gets the photograph from Bruce Wayne at the beginning of the movie.
The only times that it goes within present day in the film is at the beginning and the very end.
Yeah, it's a build up to the Justice League movie. So as I said, thanks for you guys joining us, because without you lot, I'd be sat here talking away to the screen all by myself. And it gets very lonely sometimes. Anyways, I digress. Please follow us, subscribe to our YouTube channel, all you guys out there. Please leave a comment on our YouTube videos. If you tell us what you like about the movie, what you dislike about the casts, because we're not perfect. We're not perfect. We've got Twitter. Join us on Twitter, follow us on Twitter. Tumblr, we've got Tumblr, and we've also got a public Facebook group. Ask to join, we'll add you and all like that. Because we're nice people, really. Some of us may come across as a bit grumpy and cynical, and but we're not really. It's all for show. But I'm not. I am grumpy and cynical most of the time. See, look, I'm going off on another tangent. So, anyways, thank you, guys. This has been a wonderful, wonderful cast for a wonderful superhero, Wonder Woman. So, without further ado, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.